Hey everyone, what's going on? If you've got a PlayStation Portal or you've been on the fence about picking one up, this is the update that finally flips the script. The new system software 6.0.0 just landed and it's a genuine glow up. I'll walk you through what changed, how the new search experience works, what cloud streaming actually feels like in day-to-day use, and a bunch of practical tips so you don't waste time tinkering when you could be playing. I'll also show you where to check your version and trigger the update in case your unit hasn't prompted you yet, because there's nothing's worse than hearing about new features and thinking, why don't I see any of that? We're going long and conversational here, so it's easy to use as a recording script. Imagine I'm right there, talking you through it, controller in hand. First, the headline: cloud streaming is officially live on the portal. Previously, you could only remote play from your own PS5 over the internet, and last year's beta let premium subscribers stream a curated set of PS5 titles from the cloud. Now it's the full official rollout, and the big addition is support for a huge swath of digital PS5 games in your own library. If your game is supported for cloud streaming, you can fire it up on the portal even if your PS5 at home is off or someone else is using it. For families, roommates, or anyone who wants to sneak in a quick session at a cafe or during lunch, this is enormous. At launch, Sony says thousands of PS5 titles are compatible for streaming, and on top of that, you still have hundreds from the game catalog and classics catalog. That's a massive content wall unlocked in one swoop, and it instantly changes what the portal is in your setup. Now, how you get to those games has changed too. When you power on, you're going to notice a refreshed home screen that splits into 3 tabs: Remote Play, Cloud Streaming, and Search. This immediately makes the device feel more like a purpose-built handheld and less like a single-purpose remote. Remote Play is still there for connecting directly to your PS5 and playing installed games. Cloud Streaming is where premium members jump straight into compatible PS5 titles from the network. And the new Search tab is the quiet hero of this update. You can type the name of a game, see if it supports cloud streaming, and if you don't have the rights to stream it, the portal pops up a QR code that sends you to the PlayStation app or your browser to buy or access the entitlement. No more hunting through separate devices trying to piece together whether a game is available in the cloud or not. It's clear, fast, and the best compliment here, obvious. Since this is a handheld you'll likely use in different places, audio matters more than people think. Good news there. 3D audio is now supported in both remote play and cloud streaming when you're using compatible wired headphones or a PlayStation Link device like the Pulse Explorer or Pulse Elite. I'm not saying it turns every hallway into a binaural showcase, but spatial positioning for supported games genuinely helps on a portable screen because it gives you directional clarity you can't always get from a small display across the room. If you already have a Link device paired to your PS5, bring it along. The portal plays nice. Let's talk quality of life stuff because that's where you feel the difference every single session. 2 quick wins. There's now a passcode lock you can set so the portal doesn't become a communal toy the second you set it down, and there's a network status screen you can pull up mid-session from the quick menu under troubleshoot. That second one is huge. Before, if your stream looked soft or felt laggy, you were guessing, is it my Wi-Fi band, my router distance, my ISP hiccup? Now the device gives you clear feedback so you can make smart adjustments fast instead of rage quitting a run. Cloud streaming itself also got smarter in ways that matter. You can now make in-game purchases right inside a cloud session, so if you're chilling in a game and decide to grab a DLC or some in-game currency, you don't have to back out and jump to another device. Accessibility options are better too. There's a screen reader and adjustable text size for certain cloud menus, which is great for the portal's screen. And if you're in a session and friends ping you, you can actually get game invites and jump right into multiplayer from the quick menu, all while streaming. These are the small, sharp edges that make the portal feel less like a companion and more like a real handheld that plays in the same ecosystem lanes as your console. All right, what do you need to use all this? You'll want PlayStation Plus Premium for cloud streaming, and it has to be an adult account. Child accounts aren't eligible. Also, performance scales with your connection. PlayStation's guidance is at least 5 megabit per cents to use the device at all, and 15 megabits or more for a better experience. Those numbers aren't exotic, but the key is Wi-Fi stability, not just raw speed. If you're at home, try to play on the 5 gigahertz band if your router supports it, and position yourself in line of sight of the router when you can. If you're out and about, you'll be surprised how well it holds up on decent hotel or cafe Wi-Fi. It's not competitive shooter perfect everywhere, but for adventure, indie, RPG, and most action games, it's totally viable. Also note, the refreshed UI is available for adult accounts in the regions where PS Plus Premium is offered. If you're traveling in a country that doesn't have premium, you might not see the full cloud interface until you're back in a supported region with your account. For anyone wondering, do I actually have the update? Here's the quick path to both update and verify your version. From the top right of the screen, swipe left to bring up the quick menu. Head to Settings, then System Software, and choose Update System Software. If you just want to check what you're on, the version number is under Device Information in that same System Software menu. It's a 30-second detour that saves you a lot of confusion later, especially if you're troubleshooting why you don't see the cloud streaming tile. So how does the Search tab fit into your daily routine? Here's how I'd use it. Fire up Search and type whatever you're in the mood for, say a quick round of a roguelike or a comfort game you've been replaying. The results clearly show which titles support cloud streaming, and you'll see a cloud icon on compatible ones. If you don't own a game and it's available via the catalog or for purchase, scan the QR code that appears, grab the entitlement on your phone or laptop, and when you flip back to the portal, you can start streaming. In a best-case network situation, this is faster than going to your living room, turning on a console, downloading patches, and moving saves. It's that friction reduction that makes you actually play more. Not in theory, but in real-world Tuesday night, I have 20 minutes reality. Let's talk expectations, because streaming is a spectrum. The portal's screen isn't 4K. What matters most is steady frame delivery and clean encoding. If your Wi-Fi is congested, you might see a bit of compression or an occasional hitch. That's normal. What you can control is your environment. If you're in a crowded apartment complex, try changing your router's 5 GHz channel to something less congested. If you have a mesh system, sit near a node. And if your ISP sometimes dips in prime time, consider scheduling your bigger sessions slightly off-peak, or sticking to genres where a 60-80 millisecond swing won't ruin your fun. The nice part is, with the new network status overlay, you can actually see whether it's packet loss, jitter, or signal strength, so you know if moving rooms will help. Audio deserves a second moment because the 3D implementation can be a genuine advantage. Pop on Pulse. Explore earbuds or the Pulse Elite headset via PlayStation Link or a solid wired pair, and try a game that supports good spatial mixes. Horror titles and stealth games get way more readable when you can pinpoint a footstep or a vent hiss without cranking volume. If you're somewhere semi-public, just keep volume modest. 3D doesn't need to be loud. It needs clarity and balance. Again, the portal is doing more than mirroring. It's elevating the handheld experience with features you're used to expect only from a living room setup. Another subtle improvement you'll appreciate over time is that in-session commerce works. I know that sounds like a monetization line item, but practically, if you're mid-game and decide to grab an expansion, not breaking flow matters. Same with invitations. Getting an invite, popping into a friend's session, and not thinking about whether you're on a console or in the cloud, this is the kind of continuity that keeps a handheld feeling modern. And for accessibility, if you've ever squinted at text that was clearly authored for a 65-inch TV, the adjustable text size in certain cloud menus is a quiet blessing. It shows Sony is thinking about the use cases that come with a smaller screen and variable lighting. A quick word on who this is for. If you primarily play competitive shooters and frame-perfect fighters and you have low tolerance for any network variability, remote play on your local network is still your best path, or of course playing on the PS5 itself. But if your library spans big single-player epics, platformers, strategy, and co-op titles where timing windows aren't razor-thin, cloud streaming on the portal is flat-out convenient. It's that frictionless, I have a few minutes, let me progress a Quest device. It's also superb as a secondary screen when someone else claims the TV. And if you travel or commute with reliable Wi-Fi, this is where it starts to feel like a real handheld that belongs in your bag. I know the burning question some of you have is, what about catalog size and whether your favorite game works? The official line is that thousands of PS5 titles can be streamed, and the list will evolve over time. The best, fastest way to check is simply to use the Search tab on the portal itself. If you want to do a deeper dive when you're not on the device, Sony links to a living page with streamable games, but the device flow is honestly smoother because it pairs discovery with the QR code purchase path if you need the license. The point is, treat the portal as the first place you check instead of bouncing to your phone or console UI. Let me also address eligibility and expectations, so there aren't any "why isn't this working for me" moments. You need a PlayStation Plus premium membership for cloud streaming, and it must be on an adult account. Child accounts can't use cloud streaming. If you're in a country where premium isn't offered, you won't see the new cloud streaming interface. It's tied to regions that support the service. These are account level and region level gates, so if you're set up right and still don't see it, that's your sign to check your subscription status and region settings before you start troubleshooting Wi-Fi or reinstalling anything. Performance tips? Keep it simple. Favor 5 GHz Wi-Fi, minimize walls between you and the router, and keep Bluetooth clutter down if you're in a small room packed with devices. If your router supports QoS, give priority to the portal's MAC address. If you're streaming on hotel Wi-Fi, try a spot close to the access point. Even moving a couple of meters can stabilize throughput. And remember, the portal now lets you see network status while you're playing, which makes it much easier to dial in those changes without guesswork. If the overlay says your connection's fine, but it still feels off, sometimes simply restarting the cloud session refreshes your route and cleans up the stream. One more practicality before we wrap. If you're brand new to the device or you haven't updated in a while, run that system update and check your version number. Quick menu from the top right, Settings, Settings, System, System Software, and Update System Software. And to confirm the version afterward, device information sits right in that same system software area. It's the low drama way to make sure you're actually on the latest, which saves you a bunch of why don't I see the search tab moments when you're trying to record your own impressions or stream gameplay for your channel. So where does this leave the portal in the bigger PlayStation ecosystem? For me, the identity has finally clarified. At launch, it was a handy remote play window. After this update, it's a portable front door to a massive library with smart quality of life touches that make it feel intentional, not experimental. The new home screen keeps you oriented, the search tab turns discovery into action, 3D audio ups the immersion, the passcode and network readout make ownership feel safer and smoother, and cloud session perks like invites, accessibility options, and purchases remove the last lingering, this is a compromise moments. It's classic Sony polish arriving in layers, and now it's clicked. If you're making content, here's your closing beat. Pick 2 games that show the range. Something big and cinematic to showcase the audio and picture, and something twitchier to talk about latency feel, and capture a few quick cuts of the search flow with the QR code. Mention your environment and Wi-Fi speed so viewers have context, and show the network status overlay for 10 seconds so people see it's baked into the experience now. Then, ask viewers to drop their region and connection type in the comments so you can compile a real-world map of how it performs across different setups. That kind of community feedback is gold because this is a network-first device now, and your viewers, they want to know how it feels where they live. All right, that's the update in plain language. Cloud streaming's here, the UI is smarter, audio's richer, and the device does more to help you help yourself when the network acts grumpy. If you've been waiting for the portal to grow into its promise, this is the moment you take it out of the drawer and put it back in your daily rotation. And if you're brand new, make sure you're on the latest software, log into your premium account, hit that search tab, and jump into something you love. It really is that simple now.